Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Marvel Plus podcast, the show where we talk the Marvel shows on Disney Plus and how they connect to the MCU. My name is Bret, aka Enigma911. You can catch this podcast live every week on Sunday over on twitch.tv/Enigma911 at 7 p.m. Eastern. Check it over there. Give it a watch. Give it a listen. Join in on the conversation. If you're a subscriber over there, we'd love to have you in on all the fun theory talk. But if you can't catch it live, that's A-OK. Go over to YouTube and search Enigma911 where it drops every Monday at 12 noon Eastern. And you can watch it over there and let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Today we're continuing our Miss Marvel talk. We're talking episode 4 titled Seeing Red. Okay, so where did we leave off Miss Kamala last episode? So she had learned about Naja, Kamran's mom, and the whole history with her and why she's been seeking her out. And Naja and her squad are trying to return home, essentially. They're Daijin, and we learn about that, so Kamala's down to help. But then we get our big bad reveal. Apparently Naja's not that nice, and her and her crew are bad, except for Kamran. He's cool, so that's good. So yeah, they're bad. We're going to get in a big fight with them at the end with Kamala, and they're going to be taken by damage control. So Kamala's able to escape with Bruno. We will get one more vision of like a train approaching Kamala during that altercation, and at the very end, Grandma's going to call Kamala, talking about the bangle and saying how she needs to get to Karachi. Okay, so jumping into this episode, going right to Karachi. Wow, surprise. So Kamala and her mom are on a flight to Karachi. Mom's a little bit tense about this whole situation, saying Kamala ruined her brother's wedding because of the fire alarm, even though she was keeping people safe, but obviously she wouldn't know that. And as they arrive, we're going to see the bustling city, and they're going to kind of be greeted by some of her cousins, Zainab and Owais. Hopefully I'm saying those names right. They're going to greet them along with Grandma, who is picking them up via taxi. And we're going to see kind of the relationship between Grandma and her daughter, Kamala's mom, as Grandma's going to criticize her mom's looks. So, before we continue, I guess this episode has a lot going on for sure. There are going to be moments where it's just kind of we change scenery, but not much really happens. So I'm just going to kind of graze over those parts, or maybe just mention briefly what happens. So just a heads up there. If this seems a little bit rushed, I guess you could say. All right, so we're going to arrive at Grandma's place. It's a big house, gated. She's doing well for herself. And Kamala and Grandma are going to kind of bond a little bit after Kamala finds her art room. Grandma's going to talk about how they lost so much during the partition, and the art is a way to help kind of preserve it, whether it's memory or just like, I guess, history. So Kamala will notice some art pieces, including a piece about Aisha. That was very well done. So now Kamala's going to take out the bangle, and she starts asking about that. Good. That's the whole point we're here. Grandma's going to confirm that she is Daijin, and apparently the last time the bangle was used prior to Kamala receiving it was when it saved her grandmother's life, when she got lost from her dad, and she was able to re-find him, relocate him through the light energy that was from it. So apparently the train that they had both saw in the vision is the same train that took her and her father away to safety during the partition. So we got that. So now Kamala's going to tour around the city with her mom and her cousins. They're going to go to a beach club resort, like kind of like a golf club, I guess you could say. They'll hang out there for a little bit, and then they'll go into town where her cousins are going to try and give her a little bit more of a tour, but unfortunately they don't do a great job of it. So Kamala then is going to proceed to ask about the train station. So wants to see the train station, kind of learn about it, see if it has any connections to do with, obviously, the vision that she has seen. And her cousins aren't too interested in that, so they're going to ditch her and leave her on her own. So eventually she'll find her way there, maybe through a little bit of not a shady mean. Kind of reminded me of like a New York City where somebody just hands you something and they're like, oh, you can have that for this amount of money. This guy takes her photo and then asks for cash, but she uses that to her advantage and says she'll pay him if she gets directions to the train station. She finally makes it there and starts investigating. She notices that there's a section of the train stations kind of blocked off, apparently for historical renovations, I guess just sprucing stuff up. She'll sneak in and she's going to put on her new mask that we had seen Bruno kind of give her last episode. We'll get a little quick Easter egg here with some Ant-Man artwork, looking nice. And as she's looking at that, we're going to have a dagger nail into the wall that she's standing by. Shit. Man's going to land next to her saying he's found her, and the two are going to get in quite the fight. So the whole fight is pretty much Kamala defending herself with the energy. She's using them as footsteps to kind of get away, higher elevation, things like that. She seems pretty comfortable with her powers, which is great. We obviously know she's been training a lot with Bruno in prior episodes, but then when it comes to in practice, it's been very 50-50, whether it was saving the kid. I don't know if it was the pressure of like the audience watching her. She kind of stumbled, but then fighting against the Daijin group, she seemed to handle herself pretty well. So maybe it's, to her, I'm not sure if it's that audience perspective, like, oh, somebody's watching me right now, if she has the nerves there, and that's why she can't operate her powers as well. I don't know if it's that, or the tenseness of the situation that allows her to use them super well. Whatever. So the two fight here. They're bantering the entire time, yelling at each other about different things. She is going to catch a dagger at one point with the energy, and a little bit of a comedic relief in this moment. She will attempt to throw it back, and boy, does it not go well. Just kind of chucks it on the ground. So the two are going to fight. Eventually, it's going to kind of become a stalemate, and this dagger gentleman is going to be like, oh, you're not a clandestine. You're not with that group. And the two leave together, escaping from, I think it was like security police, something like that. So Kamala's now following this gentleman through a restaurant. He's picking up some takeout, but also there's a secret door in the kitchen. It leads to some kind of big underground base that I guess this guy is part of. Masks him off, and we get another gentleman that will enter the room and introduce himself as Walid. Seems to be like the leader of whatever group this is, and apparently their motivation is to protect people from unseen harms, and they want to help Kamala because Aisha's story is legendary. Alright, so now it's food time. They're eating their takeout. We get some more banter between the Dagger Kid and Kamala. And Kamala's going to kind of trash his little handkerchief scarf, but apparently that's disguised warriors taking up the mantle of I think it was the Red Dagger is the name? Probably, yeah. For hundreds of years. And like I said, they protect the people from unseen threats. So essentially we're going to get a little bit more kind of exposition from Walid about Aisha and Najma. I keep saying the name wrong, I apologize. Their kind of crew. So he confirms that they are from a different realm, and we kind of get to see this map of how the two worlds coexist. He's got it in a flat, like just a 2D piece of paper, and then he has a 3D map which rises behind them, and we kind of see how they coexist. The two are divided by a barrier. The barrier is called the Veil of Noor, and the Noor is used as an energy source from them. And apparently Kamala's powers as well are the Noor. So the kind of crystal-esque structure that we've seen for her for when she makes barriers, when she's using it for her strikes, stuff like that. And then we're going to get one more observation from Walid as he kind of describes the bangle, is there's an inscription on it. And as far as he knew, that wasn't a thing that was involved with the bangle prior or included in his description. And the bangle, the inscription is simply going to say, "What you seek is seeking you." Okay, interesting. So I mentioned how Najma's group had been taken by damage control at the end of last episode. We're going to quickly cut over to, I assume, the damage control Supermax prison. Kamran's being escorted. Najma is going to make a distraction as the group will break free. They're going to leave Kamran behind as he gets injured, and he has also made his choice to help Kamala, and the group is going to escape. So, great. Alright, now we're going to get a lot of very quick scenes here that didn't have much to it. We have a conversation between Kamala and Grandma about Grandma's identity, how she's not really 100% on that. We're going to get Kamala with the Red Dagger guys heading to a fire. We learn that the Red Dagger, his name is Chemo, short for Kareem. We go back to Grandma's. We see Mom and Grandma interacting as Mom is cleaning up her entire place. Not a healthy relationship there, as they have a little bit of a standoff. And then when Kamala comes back later, her and her mom seem to be healing their relationship as they'll share some toffee and laugh. Alright, so now we start getting into some depth. So we're going to go back to the Dagger hideout. And Waleed is going to kind of mention how Kamala's genetics may be the answer to why she can use the Noor, the light powers, here in this realm. He's going to give her this vest that apparently can give her protection, has a lot of history in its fabric, and Najma and the group is going to drop in from the ceiling and attack. Chemo and Kamala are going to hide, make a run for it through a hallway, as Waleed is going to fend off the rest of the group. Eventually, the three of them will leave together in a small vehicle, a tuk-tuk essentially, and the evil group is going to follow in a bus. Going to lead to this big chase scene throughout, the city. Hold on, scrolling because I already forgot what it was. Karachi, thank you. So they're going to be going through there, and we're going to see the situation kind of pick up in intensity. Eventually, the bus is going to kind of T-bone the tuk-tuk, so they're all there. Kamala's going to notice a family up ahead. She's able to protect them with kind of this barrier from her Noor powers. The group is able to separate from the bus, and the bus will then proceed to ramp off of that Noor barricade, protecting the family and launching them into danger. Waleed will disconnect the back of the tuk-tuk to try and give the two a chance to escape, but unfortunately, Chemo and Kamala are going to shortly crash afterwards and make a run for it on foot. So now all three get separated. Chemo is running from Najma. Oh, sorry, not Chemo. Waleed is running from Najma. Chemo is running from one guy, and Kamala is running from another guy. Chemo's going to get surrounded at one point by the group. Kamala will make a save by bashing a car into one of the guys. And the two are going to continue together. Najma is going to finally catch up to Waleed. Waleed will notice that the other two, Kamala and Chemo, are running from a separate guy. He's going to make the save to them by throwing a dagger, simply taking out that guy. But in doing this heroic action, he is going to get taken out himself and get stabbed by Najma and dying here. So we have that. The two are going to be able to make one final escape by causing some kind of reaction through water and explosive. I'm not sure too much about the details there. And they'll momentarily escape, but then they're going to kind of prep and stand their ground to fight off the attackers, get into a big fight. Chemo takes out a guard as Najma is going to stab the bangle that Kamala is wearing, causing her to be sent back in time. Interesting. Kamala appears to be at the train station. We see a lot of families that are separating due to the partition event, people saying their goodbyes, not wanting to go. And Kamala will climb to the top of one of the trains and just see the massive people that are dealing with this in Pakistan and other countries. Oof, and the episode's going to end there. No post-credits. So, a lot of information I kind of just rapid-fired there. How was this episode overall? I would give this a solid meh. Wasn't a bad episode, but it just felt like I mentioned earlier. A lot of the scenes we were very in and then out and on to the next one. Some of the information that they kind of gave in those scenes didn't seem super important. Like, I know they're trying to build on the relationship between the grandmother and the mom, how it's not the best. I get that. But it felt like information that was told there either could have been, like, extended to kind of, not fluff, but do a better job of making us as an audience feel that information instead of just, like, quick in and out. Or it could have been included in other scenes instead of changing the setting, cutting to this thing that's maybe 2 minutes and then cutting to another thing. Just odd. Like, did we need Kamala and Chemo by the fire? No, I don't think so. I don't think we needed really this, like, oh, we're all friends bonding around the fire moment. That was kind of, yeah. So yeah, I don't think it really progressed anything here. Obviously, you know, they're in the city where her grandma lives. There's more of the heritage there. So I get that from the intel part, trying to learn about the bangle, but it didn't feel like it was super necessary or anything we did in this episode was necessary. The daggers are cool just because it's like, oh, another force that's actually trying to help and do good. But it's almost like another detail just being added in just for the sake of it. It's not building upon anything. It's just adding another element to anything, to this, if that makes sense. We only have 2 episodes left of this, so we got to kind of start picking up the pace of figuring out this whole Aisha mystery, the bangle, and leading or building up to this kind of conclusion, obviously in episode 6. Najma and her group has been very aggressive since her introduction. Fine. I feel like that maybe could have waited a little bit. We could have kind of built the trust and then done this, you know, normal villain, like, oh shit, you're actually evil thing. This kind of felt like it was sped along, like it was a very quick turnaround between, like, hey, I know you, can you help me? And then, oh nope, you're not helping me fast enough or well enough, fuck you. Just odd. So there's that. And now, yeah, we have Kamala. I guess I would think not obviously her traveled back in time, but I think she's in the bangle now, or like she's, instead of having a vision, she's more projected into it, I guess, because she's able to freely walk around, interact with people through, you know, contact, bumping into them with the crowd. So what is so important in this vision or in this past that she needs to visit? Is it just how Aisha disappeared seemingly after this event? Because I think if we were told earlier, she never made the train. Obviously, it was Sana, I believe is the grandmother's name, and then her father got together and left together in the partition. And then Aisha was able to help her with the bangle, but... Or no, Aisha didn't help her with the bangle. Grandma had the bangle. I don't fucking know. Aisha disappeared that night. She got separated. So is it just figuring out where she went, potentially? Maybe that's the whole purpose of going on this vision quest. We'll have to see. And then the question, I guess, arises from that. If that is the case, what is the importance or significance of that? Like, why do we need to figure out where she went? It's not like she had the secondary bangle, which was brought up last episode as potentially being around. We'll have to see. So yeah, this episode, I'd say overall, not super great. Hopefully they swing it back around with episodes 5 and 6 once we start kind of heading towards that conclusion. I don't know how damage control is going to play a role back into this later on, especially because, well, it seemed like Najma's group and her were only in there for a minute and they kind of broke out. I get it. They're superpowered beings against, regular jabronis, so that kind of adds up. It's just odd. Kamran still being in the prison. Is he going to be able to do anything to help or assist? Probably not, but at some point he'll have to get out. And then we had no interaction with their friends at all. There were a couple of text exchanges, I believe, between Nakia and Kamala in this episode. So they're still trying to mend the fence of their relationship after Nakia wasn't too happy about Kamala not sharing information with her like she had Bruno. When they're supposed to be friends, we'll see. I get, obviously, she's halfway across the world right now, so time difference alone with texting is a pain, but just seemed interesting to kind of ditch all of that, and we'll have to see where that comes back in with the next 2 episodes. But yeah, hope you guys are enjoying Miss Marvel. Hopefully, hopefully you guys enjoyed episode 4 and are still looking forward to the finale and obviously episode 5, the tail end of the story. But yeah, this has been another episode of the Marvel Plus podcast. My name is Bret, aka Enigma9011, and you can catch this podcast live over on twitch.tv/Enigma9011 every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Join the chat and all the fun theory talk if you're a subscriber over there. Love to have you in on the conversation. But if you can't catch it live, that's A-OK. Drops the very next day over on YouTube. Just search Enigma9011 and give it a watch over there at 12 noon Eastern. And let us know in the comments below what you think of the show. So yeah, Miss Marvel, we got 2 more episodes coming up. Thor Love and Thunder's right around the corner. We'll be doing a separate reacts for that. And yeah, appreciate you guys hanging out, giving this a watch, giving it a listen, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.